Alright, we're recording for the VOD, but we got 2-player cams here for Spartan Demons. I'll have to adjust, make sure it's out of the way, but we'll have to see during gameplay. Let's see. Just double check something. Alright. Alright. So, let's see if they're ready. Scandinavian descent? That's wild. A Viking duo. Spectator. Alright. Alright. Welcome in, everyone, to this cast. And let's quickly check. I mean, it's right on the line. How's that for you guys? How's that shot for you guys? Office Walrus taking no time. But I think that player cam positioning should be good. I can make it smaller if you want, but let me know. Otherwise, holy smokes, Affinity Sapphire came out hot. Like someone insulted their mother. And so, good start for Affinity Sapphire. We have to see if Spartan Demons can stop the bleeding and put one on, as Lil Day has a flipper set. Emerson far back, not able to follow, and Sharky moves it along. But we'd also like to shout out our sponsors on the top left. As you can see the graphic, all the sponsors help make season possible with prize pool, so shout out to them. Also, welcome into the CPL 2v2 of the GC1-GC2 tier of week 3. And I believe Spartan Demons, they're still trying to get their first win of the season. They had a bye week and a loss. And Affinity Sapphire, I believe, are 1-1. But both teams really getting a flow of things, although, like we said, Affinity Sapphire, quite the start. They're looking to expand on it as Spartan Demons settle in. But Emerson, quick touch, and might have an opportunity here, but gives it up. And so important in twos. I mean, we talk about the same things, but we'll continue to talk about them. But having the numbers advantage, important in twos. You saw a 2v1 and missed opportunity possibly for Spartan Demons. But Office Walrus does get a nice clear going down, and that's a mistouch. And Sharky will take that all day, as he just has a straight net to look at. But 3 up for Affinity Sapphire. And big demo, but missed opportunity for Sharky. But that's a textbook play. Again, you have the numbers. First player goes for a demo. You have a wide open net. Sharky might want that one back, but Affinity still in the lead by 3. And we're encountering halftime. Spartan Demons really have to pour things on if they want a chance, and Emerson does exactly that. So they strike, and could we see a possible second half surge from Spartan Demons? Try and tie it up. But Emerson taken to the air. We know what he can do, and goes by, and what an effort from Office. Just enough to get it. But split the gap, and Office could continue on. Maintain possession and make them pay. And how unfortunate for Spartan Demons. Get a demo, but no one goes for the ball. Instead, Office just takes it and runs away with it. But 2 minutes ago, 3-goal lead, as they are looking in command to take game 1. But mind you, this is a best of 5, don't forget. plenty of games to be played. So Emerson tries to strike through. But now Office, who's put on quite the stat line, gets challenged. Great challenge. That Sharky trying to follow through. But both players on the side. Now they have to rush back. A little day. Maintaining possession. Gets a little skim of a touch. I wonder if you saw that ghost touch. But 50 all the way back. Got to try again. Break it down. We have our resident chat coach break it down for us. Back to you, Harm. But 50 seconds left. 50 going forward. They can't beat out, and that's another big clear for Affinity. But going mid. Great pass. And Emerson a little bit wide. And that positioning works well. As Sharky ready to turn on it. But Emerson there. And you like to see if Spartan Demons can pull more of that out of their hat. But 30 seconds left. Down by 2. And they're looking for another quick score and touch, but Sharky is there. And good job maintaining possession, getting the 50s from Affinity, taking precious time off the clock, and look poised to take game number 1 off that great start that they had. But game 2, we're going to have to see if Spartan Demons settled in a little bit. Be curious to see how they start game 2, or will Affinity get another great start to put them in a good spot. What's weird is, yeah, the previous cast, I couldn't change the maps until, like, game 3. That was annoying, but we're good here. Although I think it's because during the match, I invited and created a party. I don't know if that messed it up, but that was weird. And I didn't like it. But we are good here. We can go to Forbidden Temple, game 2. And my bad. Harm said, so what Demons need to do is to score more goals than the other team. And that is just the valuable insight that we have over in Spartan Org. Truly like none other. But what a touch. That's slightly going out. And Affinity going all the way back. Kind of an unfortunate bounce for Office there. And Little Day trying to squeeze the gap, trying to find the angle. But going to be able to turn on this. However, Office waiting. Trying to get the 50. See what he's doing. Almost 50 for a good spot for Sharky. But Office controlling the mid. Can go up. Little Day can turn on this. But Sharky is there. However, we got good possession from Spartan Demons applying the pressure. But still not resulting in a score. As we are tied 0-0 in game number 2. Emerson. Great job continuing with the pressure, and almost controls that into a flick. Could have been a score there, but challenge just shy of it. But slight touch. Emerson racing. He does beat out, but Sharky quick to recover. And just a series of 50s, battle back and forth. Control for the midfield. And games like these, You just wonder, what's the first goal gonna be? Does it come off of a mistake? Or does a special play come throughout? And with how locked in they are, it just seems like it might come down to a mistake. Emerson. Good touch moving forward. But Office, again, controlling midfield. Has good positioning throughout. And definitely a tough player to play against. And that wall is looking great. But we're back at it. Emerson trying to get it by. And Lil Day can't get a touch. Does get a bump, though. That is crucial, as he fully well knows that's a ball going in. Has no one on defense. He was the last stop. But trying to get there. And Lil Day, give him credit. As awkward as he may seem, he does get back in a position of 50. But that's a ball save from Emerson. I didn't know if it was going in. Prepared myself. But Emerson jumped early, had the save, but they are being tested. And Office finally caps it with a goal, and hard fought throughout the game. But just seemingly continued pressure, continued shots, and Spartan Demons could only hold out for so long. But great passing play into the net. And as we see this again, that has been their bread and butter. Spartan Demons get the passing going and cap it on a nice goal from Lil Day. But that's another goal from Spartan Demons through passing. And you wonder if they just fully utilize it. Maybe that's their ticket into this game. But high bounce. Emerson wisely going for the bump. Makes things awkward. And there is a 2v1 situation that you got to take full advantage of. Spartan Demons do. And they finally are able to gain a lead. But Office coming right back. And what a touch. Slowed it down a little bit. Created some options. And enough of an angle. And waste no time. And how could you expect anything less? It's been all over on the series. But what a banger. And Emerson tilts his car. Rolls to the side. And cuts the angle enough. And now it's seemingly just all offense at this point for both teams. But you're locked in for so much. Something's got to give. And like we said, defense has clearly gone away. Hey, Sleepy, leave Nightbot alone. But 40 seconds left. Back and forth play. Do we go to OT? Or do we see a last second goal? Can't make a touch, but Sharky's line and wait. And Emerson looked a little bit awkward there, but good touch from Lil Day, moving her along. And not finished there. Hunting for some demos. But Office gives up possession there. Does get a piece, though. And 3 seconds left. Sharky wanted the pop. Not going to get it. OT. What does this kickoff show us? Emerson going for the pinch pass, but Emerson has nothing in the tank. However, other team doesn't know that and just trying at 50. But Office gonna stay the course into the midfield. Emerson has to get the save. He does. But Sharky, Lumen, Emerson in a rough spot. 50s. And no one panicking from Spartan Demons. Which is huge. Not to cause those double commits. But Lil Day covering the low. Trying to get a counter. Gets the boost. Try to sling one on, but Sharky all over the midfield. And has an open net. Office venturing, and you see that 1-2 combo quick and close together. Affinity take it in OT. And they are at match point. And we are going to DFH Stadium. El Macha says, I still believe for my points. Damn. Is Sleepy a jinx or not? We'll find out on the next episode. If he's trying to be a jinx for the jinx, then is he really the jinx? Or is he not the jinx? Or did he jinx himself? Nobody knows. But game 3 is here. Do or die for Spartan Demons. Meanwhile, Affinity Sapphire trying to continue this good trend they've had. Close out the series. And games have been a little bit closer. They certainly want to close this out. Sharky. A little bit awkward. Little Day going for it all. And he almost catches up with it. Office getting those 50s. Little Day venturing. High pop. Emerson might have it, but clutch defense from Sharky. And does get a slight touch going forward. Almost an impressive pass. As Sharky coming alive with some great touches. A little Day 50, but right to Sharky again. That 1-2 combo. He goes the full court. And we said Sharky came alive. Well, there's your proof. And going the full distance. Give credit to Sharky and Affinity Sapphire up by 1 off quite the momentum. But miscue there. And Spartan Demons got to take advantage of those numbers. Right? Sometimes you got to bring it back to basics. Emerson hanging around. Office filling the gap, and Office been the first man going for the 50s, and that one shot wide. But Sharky, that's going to be an unfortunate touch. Office gets enough of a touch going back. Pre-jump, and Lil Day thought he could scoop it under. And DJ Caleb in the house. Rooting on Spartan Demons. As they are down by 1. They know another goal would be devastating against them. And Lil Day has to back off there. But going for the bump. Emerson wisely catches up. But big demo. Not enough time taken off. And just a chess match. Emerson can't gain control. You like to see him stay with it, take the 50 instead. Gives it up a little bit of space. And therefore, Affinity able to continue on. And it's halftime. Up by 2. What a play. Emerson gets that goal. I don't know if it was going in already, but a big goal for Spartan Demons. They had to stop the bleeding. And they are still in it. But a little bit of miscue. They're trying for the pass. It isn't there. And Demons, can they capitalize? A little bit risky. Trying for the team pinch. Alright, Sharky on defense. And gets the 50, gets a bump. Has to watch Lil Day as he has the angle. Very impressive score there. Not a lot of room to work with. Scoops in and ties up the game. As once again, Spartan Demons, do or die, can't afford any more losses. Well, they can't continue on this, and now Sharky puts it on. Emerson there just in time, and trying to buy some time. Emerson actually catches that challenge, and sometimes those can be risky, especially if you don't get a touch. But Little Day comes in scooping again, and they got it working. Emerson being the nuisance. Little Day comes swooping in for the tough angle, and they do it again. But have the lead, up by 1. Emerson gonna put it through, and there's the numbers advantage finally taking full effect. Little Day gets the demo, and Emerson close by. So Spartan Demons starting to do certain things right. They are up by 2. Little Day has another, and up by 3. I refuse to believe until the reverse sweep is complete. That is wise, Sleepy. And certainly as a reverse sweep team, as they're really pouring it on, you have to take it one game at a time. You could have momentum here, but next game is a clean slate. That's true, Bub. We have seen best of 5s go in a reverse sweep of late. I think we saw one either last week or... Yeah, I think last week we had one, but really pouring the offense. That's a good sign for Demons. 2-7, give them confidence. And here we got an interesting kickoff. Let's say it did not work and should never be used again. If you're a Demons, however, Affinity Sapphire, perfectly executed. But they all go for it too. Again, these kickoffs are crazy. But Game 3 complete. Game 4, where are we going? Sovereign, I guess. Wait, it's happening? Is it a jinx if you talk about it too early? Although that is vague. We don't know what's happening from DJ Caleb. But game 4 is here. And we're just going to watch Lil Day miss that boost. And Office really makes them pay. And makes you think, hey, an extra second there might not have mattered. But great shot from Office Walrus. Has certainly been one to pour on the points, put on the pressure, and really set the tone. But big 50 and enough to be in the way as Emerson trying to squeeze that one through. Bro is cursing it. Lil Day has a 1v1 chance and he does capitalize. Lil Day stepping up in a big moment. And trying to keep that ball on. But Sharky now trying to do his best 1v1, but that ball drops down, makes it easier to challenge. And some more bumping coming out. All day. Takes to the ceiling, sees Emerson there, but can't get it. And Emerson far forward. Fully expecting that pass to come through. But big bump. Emerson has to be quick. He does get a touch. That's where it falters. And a little more patient from both teams, you can see. Tied 1-1, and that is going in. Are you kidding me? What a play. That is a crazy challenge and crazy shot. As 2-1, Affinity still holding that lead, but a double commit. Emerson has to be able to capitalize, and Office gets there. And Office already stepping up in a big way. Already has 500 plus points. And certainly not going to be letting this one go easily. And going to the side, gets boost, takes to the air, sees the challenge, but enough separation as Emerson can clear it. Sharky by 1. Lil Day moving it. And 1-2 punch from Affinity Sapphire. But sees a pass. Lil Day bangs it a little too far left. And we've reached halftime and trading demos. And this has been a great series so far. And a lot of counters. You see what one team does and the other kind of mirrors it. So we just saw a demo on both sides to equalize things. Seeing plenty of kickoffs that are similar. More 50s coming out. DJ Caleb trying to be not the most hated. Said, I didn't even type it. But Sharky downfield. Lil Day wanted to scoop that up and kind of stuck in place. But clearing the way. Emerson gets the pop and denied. You know what flick that is. Tried and true. But great save. And Sharky sees a midfield. A little bit too far, but Office can make it work. And just back and forth play. But Spartan Demons down by 1 as time slowly ticking away. Emerson a Lil Day and just shy. Yet see it form, and it almost seemed like there's nothing the defense could do. But lucked out. That was away from net. 40 seconds, Office. A little bit of a mistouch going far back. Now Little Day gets a pop, but bumped off. And just an absolute battle for possession. Emerson, 20 seconds. Little Day deleted. Emerson has no one in tow. And big boost grab from Sharky. Maintain possession. And all over it. Not stopping. And that one's by Office. But Emerson can't get control. And tough one as Office Walrus capitalizes and seals the deal. Affinity Sapphire. Oops. Can't type. Affinity Sapphire are your winners tonight. Congrats to them. Also, big shout out to Spartan Demons, especially allowing us access to the player cams. But if you voted Affinity Sapphire, you are correct and maybe a jinx. But once again, big credit to them. They played a heck of a match. Looking very good. Gonna be curious to see how they do in the season. But here are your winners. We'd also, of course, like to thank everybody who was in chat, everyone who watched the match, no matter what side you rooted for. And also, even if you lurked, all appreciated.